What is up, guys? JaretCampisi back at the track for another video. Today we're going to be talking about something that I think is a highly misunderstood topic, and that is how to earn a scholarship for track and field. Stick around.
Gotta know that nothing lasts forever.
Okay, so I think this is a very important video because obviously it's no secret nowadays the cost of college is pretty insane. You know, you can pay anywhere from $10,000 to $70,000 per year. Multiply that by 4 or 5 years and you're getting into hundreds of thousands of dollars just to attend school and get an education. And then you can be paying on those loans for years and years and years to come, and it can be a pretty big burden on you as an individual and on your family and parents, whoever's helping you pay for that stuff. So one thing when it comes to sports is you can literally get your college paid for, or large parts of it, or even small parts of it. And that's a really huge advantage for people who couldn't afford it, like myself. If I didn't have a scholarship offer, or multiple scholarship offers, I would have been going to community college, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's just the nature of the game. When it comes to track and field scholarships, there's some things you have to understand because I don't think people really understand how it works in general. So first off, track and field scholarships share scholarships with cross country, okay, in most major universities, okay? So I'm gonna give you my experience from Penn State, stuff that I've learned from coaching and my own personal experience. So normally track and field and cross country share scholarships, and they don't have nearly as many scholarships available to them as football and some of the other basketball and bigger sports do. I think usually somewhere between 10 and 15 scholarships for the whole team, okay? So that's my first thing that you really need to understand. It's hard to get a full scholarship for track and field. You're much more likely to get partial scholarships or even like grants. Sometimes teams will have things available to them, but you have to ask about those things, okay? So getting a full ride is difficult, but there are some steps you can take in order to make yourself more valuable to a college, okay? So the first thing that you need to understand is a lot of schools have criteria as far as academic criteria, that if you're not meeting these criteria, the base criteria to get into their college, you're not even gonna be looked at as an athlete, okay? So like I said, this isn't football where it's like a sport that's bringing in millions and millions of dollars. Track as a sport is lucky to break even, and even a lot of times they'll share money from football programs like we did at Penn State. So it's not like they're gonna be able to pull a lot of strings because you're making the school so much money. So you have to understand that you're gonna need to meet whatever the baseline criteria is. So you have to focus on, in high school, you have to focus on good grades and solid SAT scores. You can't just think you're some phenomenal track athlete and you're just gonna get offered scholarships and it doesn't matter what your grades are. You're wrong. Not only do your grades matter as far as getting into the school, but coaches want athletes that are gonna graduate from their school, graduate from their program. That's how they're gonna make their program look good. Penn State was one of the best, like, for academics, as far as their athletes were concerned. They want people who are gonna graduate. It's gonna make their program look much better, and that's the whole point of why you're going to college, to get a degree, and you're gonna go pro in something other than probably your sport, okay? So that's the first thing to understand. Make sure your academics are up there, make sure they're on par. The next thing you need to understand is, since track and cross country share scholarships, you need to make yourself as well-rounded as an individual as possible. So if you can run multiple events, you're gonna be a lot more likely to be useful to a program, okay? So if you can run, like myself, I was a 300 hurdler in high school, a 110 hurdler, but I also ran the relays, so the 4x1, the 4x4. I could run the 200, I could do the jumping events, triple jump, the long jump, and I could even step up to an 800 if needed to run a 4x8 and stuff like that. Now I wasn't running cross country, but if you can run cross country on top of that, now you're starting to get into sharing a scholarship between track and cross country. It's gonna be a lot easier for them to give you money, okay? The next thing is, obviously, yes, you want to run as fast as you possibly can, okay? So watching my videos picking up a copy of my program, How to Run Faster. I'll put it as a link in the description below. Starting to train correctly, building a foundation, having solid training that's going to keep you from being injured is going to make you a lot more valuable to a coach. A lot of athletes will get into college programs, and once they're training year-round or almost year-round, the injuries start to occur because they didn't have that base training beforehand, okay? So training correctly, being a multiple event athlete can also help you look better in the eyes of a coach, okay? The next thing is, and this is probably one of the most important things you could take out from this video, when you're one of the top athletes in the country, like myself, I was getting scholarship offers and letters from schools constantly, pretty much from my sophomore year on through my senior year, okay? So coaches recognize those people who are some of the top guys in the country, and obviously everyone goes after them, okay? What coaches don't do as good a job on is scouting the people who are, maybe not quite as good, but still very valuable to the team and will continue to progress as the year goes, or as the years go on, okay? So what you can do is you can put together a little track resume, okay? So what that would include is, and I've helped students on my team that were here at City College do the same thing. Basically, put your name, put your information, almost like a little resume. Include, what your major is, what your grades are like, what you want to study, what you want to graduate with, and then include all your track and field accolades, any championships you've won, races you've won, what your PRs are, and all the different events. And then maybe you could even talk about what your goals are moving forward. And then you can take that and you can start emailing it out to coaches, emailing it out to places that you want to go to. Send it to the head coach, send it to the assistant coach, send them an email, introduce yourself, tell them why you want to go to their program, the type of things you want to run, what you want to study. Let them know you want to graduate from school and you want to be an asset to their program. And that's when you can start asking for scholarship money. Just ask them, hey, do you have scholarship money available? What kind of times do I have to run in order to earn a scholarship for your team? A lot of the times teams will tell you. I remember actually North Carolina was one of the schools I reached out to, and they told me, hey, you need to run a 52-second 400-meter hurdles before we would offer you any scholarship money. And sometimes coaches really set the bar really high, and they actually didn't even have a guy on their team that ran a 52-second 400-meter hurdles at the time. So sometimes those numbers are really high, but you can still tell them what you're running, and sometimes it'll be better with who's on their team. You can go to their websites and look at their team's PRs and stuff like that and see where you stack up in certain events. So if you can get money and partial scholarships, anything that's going to help you get your schooling paid for, it's amazing. And that's why I think athletics are so important, because not only are they going to make you stay in school, because I loved track and that was one of the main reasons I was in school. That's what kept me there and allowed me to get my degree, but also getting your school paid for. You can go and work. A lot of parents will make their kids work jobs and part-time jobs. You're never going to save up enough money to go to some of these major universities. It's just not going to happen. If they're too much money, it's too expensive. You could be better served putting your time and effort into getting better in your sport and being one of the best athletes in your school, and then putting these athletic resumes together, emailing them out to coaches and things, touching base with people, and earning money that way. So I think this is a very beneficial video. If this is something that you're a parent watching this, or your kids watching this, you have friends, family members that are trying to earn scholarships, share this video with them, and maybe this can really help them get their foot in the door at universities and places like that. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. As always, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more videos. Put your comments in the comment section below if you have questions. I'll try to answer them the best that I can. Go ahead and do research on this topic for yourself if you want to learn more about it, but I think these are some great steps that you can take to implement in order to get yourself a little bit closer to earning those coveted scholarships and getting your schooling paid for. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one, and stay fast.
It's crazy sometimes thinking you can own a piece of the world. It's just floating